What issues do you find that you like to talk about or resonate with people at candidate forums that you've been invited to?
Thank you for asking that. As you mentioned at the beginning, both Mark and I are very passionate about criminal justice reform. And I've found that when I talk about, that's a very broad topic.
Sure.
But when I talk about the role of drug prohibition, and also the way that policing and law enforcement is conducted, that those are two things that resonate very well with the folks in the 18th. So this would have a lot less to do with the court system and the criminal justice system after people are charged with things, but before they go to prison. The actual court part of it. You know, I think that I've become increasingly aware of the amount of damage that drugs do to people with the opioid epidemic. And be that as it may, I think that a lot of people at this point are starting to realize that drug prohibition is actually done more damage to Americans than drugs themselves could ever do. And that's just in the United States. Drug prohibition in the United States also has some very serious consequences for people that live south of the border in Latin America. The black market that's created here is supplied by the people that are very, very, very violent. We call them the cartels, right, south of the border, that are growing and processing and moving narcotics for consumption in the United States. And the violence that those cartels exact on people in Latin America.
Yeah, for what, 30 to 40,000 deaths over the last 10 years of gang-related deaths, turf protection.
Yeah, I think it's a bit more than that.
Really?
A lot of them, because of a lot of the folks who are likely victims of that are not counted as dead, they're just disappeared.
Oh, okay.
They just were disappeared.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we need to take some responsibility for that in the United States. That's something that our policies are doing to those people, and most people don't even in this country aren't even aware of that. But back to the U.S. Now that we're talking, we're on the verge of nationwide marijuana legalization, and I think that once that happens, and the sky doesn't fall, a lot of
it hasn't fallen in Colorado or California yet.
There you go. I think a lot of everyday Americans will then be receptive to talking about decriminalizing other narcotics. So just the way that we decriminalized marijuana in Houston at first. Small amounts that people are caught with, they just write you a ticket. Right? It's not legalized, it's decriminalized. But I think that's the next step, is to decriminalize drugs in the United States. And then if the sky doesn't fall, and it likely won't, we have examples like Portugal to look towards. Mm-hmm. I believe they decriminalized all narcotics in 2000? Some time ago.
Yeah, some time ago. There's enough for the data to be in.
Their overdose deaths plummeted.
Yeah.
Theirs are still going down, while ours are skyrocketing. Yeah. So those people, they're not just numbers, right? They're our friends and coworkers and family members.
Okay.